Maybe we can file this under the questions for God category because it doesn't seem like human beings want to be honest with us here on Earth. And I say that because I'm looking at the Value Electronics TV Shootout Award that they give. You know, the one you've seen plastered all over Amazon.com and on Sony's website for the Sony A95L. Right, okay. If you just do this wonderful thing, right? Like, you don't just read the little accolades here, because I mean, most people just stop at reading the accolades. They go, best SDR TV. We've lost like half the people already because they probably don't know what SDR is. They're like, SDR, what the hell is that? Now people have got to go Googling and then they've got to come back to purchase. They're not going to do that. They're going to say best SDR TV, don't know what that is. They're going to say best HDR. Most people know what HDR is. But if they don't, they're going to say, okay, I don't know what that is, and just kind of move on and keep reading the next one. And then they're going to hear best out of box TV, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, great. So I buy this and I'm done. And they're going to be expecting this magnificent picture, never really knowing that it's just a really cold looking image that's super overpriced. Right? Like, I mean, you guys know that because I show you the before and afters. Like, no, name a YouTuber out here that does that. Like, nobody does that. Not one. Literally, not one person is doing before they put settings in that make a difference and after. They don't do it because they don't have results like that. Because they're just taking them out of the box, doing reference calibrations. They look like trash, and then they say, hey, here you go. And so this award bugs me because it's being slapped on every single Sony TV. And the reason I'm talking about this and even bringing this up for like, I don't even know, what is this, the millionth time? Is because when you do this wonderful thing on Amazon, right? Or any website where you see fine print at the bottom and you just zoom in on it and you read what they say, you then learn new bits of information that you learn why there's a fine print, right? Especially if you're like me and you're an overthinker and you have power of deductive reasoning. Um, okay, the annual shootout evaluation event was created by Value Electronics, right? That we already knew. But this part's interesting, and the TV shootout name is trademarked and owned basically by Value Electronics. Now let that sink in. The TV shootout name is trademarked. Also, King of TV is registered as a trademark with Value Electronics. So this basically gives them the monopoly to be able to do shootout and name something the King of TV. So what happens if somebody somewhere else in another country or another professional body or another group of AV enthusiasts that disagree with Value Electronics come out and say, you know what, we've done our own shootout and these are the findings. These are the actual results. This is the actual King of TV, right? Well, they don't allow that kind of competition if they have a trademark, I would imagine, right? Why else trademark something? You're trying to protect something, right? Now you're a retail store. Your whole dig is to just sell TVs. Why would you need a trademark naming something king of TV? You want the exclusive monopoly to be able to call something the king and to never be challenged on it. Hear that. Sit with that and really think about that. Then pay attention to how it's plastered all over Amazon and all over Sony and understand that there's probably some incentive to help promote these products with these labels, with these badges, with these awards, which is why it's getting the recognition that it's getting. Now, what I'm doing isn't very popular. Nobody, and I mean nobody in this business, is going to try to bite a hand that could feed them. They don't care enough about everybody else to say, you know what, money comes and goes, but how you treat people is forever. How you treat families is forever. And I just don't agree with just blindly handing an award out to a company that isn't fucking earning it. Like we're in a time period where the wages are not matching up with inflation, and it's to a point where we're matching up even with the housing prices, and it's to a point where people genuinely cannot afford to live. And a company like Sony is coming out every single year with these lazy ass TVs, because I'm just gonna say it. It's lazy at this point. And they're getting away with it because of little badges like this. That's all it takes to dupe the general public. Why? Because someone told you it's the king of a shootout, a TV shootout? Who's at these shootouts? What makes them so qualified to be able to speak over you, tell you what looks good? Nothing. Literally nothing. They're people with an opinion, right? Many of which are YouTubers, right? Many of which go and take a little course online to learn how to work computer software. Uh-oh, now I'm a professional. It's a joke. It quite literally is a joke. It's such a joke, you've never probably even had a television calibrated before you've stumbled onto some random YouTube channel, right? It's a joke. It's literally a joke. Like the whole idea of professional calibration as an industry, it's so much of a joke that people do not do it full time. They usually meld it in with some sort of audio engineering business or wall mounting business or home theater engineering business of some sort, right? Custom solution business, because you can't survive on just that part of it, right? And the part that really gets on my first nerve is that, like, it's already niche. You would think if it was niche, you would want to be the best at it, and you'd want everybody who finds out about it to be inspired to keep coming back and say, hey, let's let this grow. And instead, they muddy the waters by just throwing labels out there and standing behind credentials for the sake of promotion. That's not how it should work. You should stand behind your reputation and your professionalism and say, hey, I have X amount of years in the business, and I'm going to test this based on these parameters. And these parameters are for real world content and how we actually see things, not what a computer spits out and says is accurate. Do you know how many times a mechanic has run codes on a vehicle that has a clear fucking problem that you have had in your lifetime? You clearly feel your car is driving rough, but the car isn't throwing the code, right? And then it just drive it long enough and magically the code spits, but you already knew there was a problem with that car. But the mechanic couldn't do anything until the code populated as a check engine light or, a brake light or a traction light or whatever it is on your vehicle. This is the same fucking thing. You don't know that there's a problem with these TVs until something happens, until someone tells you, right? Someone has to be the check engine light going off and showing you these things, right? You know there's maybe something off with this whole scenario, but you're not going to know unless the check engine light pops on. That's what I am. I'm the check engine light letting you know something's up, right? Now, all these other people that are trying to sell you stuff, they're the in-house specialists and mechanics and all that stuff. Oh no, there's nothing wrong. Just buy it anyway. They'll throw parts at you all day, right? We've all been to an auto body shop. All day they will throw parts at you just to get you out of the door. But at the end of the day, you don't need those parts. This is what that is. And so when I see things like someone trying to gatekeep something as simple as King of TV, that's weird. And then they trademark the shootout name. That's weird. And then every year Sony gets these awards, year after year, A90J, A95K, A95L. I mean, can we take a guess as what's going to happen with the next A95 series? It's getting a little predictable, right? I don't know what to tell you guys, but hopefully this opens up some eyes that maybe were shut and opens some ears, cleans out some earwax in some ways for some stubborn people. I don't do this because I hate Sony. I do this because I hate corruption.